That's what went on in those days. She didn't go to the government for health care. She didn't ask Obama to send a home care nurse in to take care of a friend. Women took care of each other in those days. It was a different world, admittedly. I don't suppose anybody would do that today anyway. I mean, if I fell down, I'd have to go into a hospital. I wouldn't expect a friend to come over and brush my teeth for me. I wouldn't want him to, as a matter of fact. The friends I have, I wouldn't let them brush my teeth. In fact, I put in my will that if I should get sick, I don't want my friends brushing my teeth and combing my hair. But it was a different time. The last thing I would want is Larry to brush my teeth and bathe me. Larry, I hope you're not listening. I don't want Larry to bathe me or Morris. No, sir. Thank you very much. You can do without you bathing me. Thank you very much. I'm not that kind of guy, Larry. But I don't know. It's just a different universe. That's all. Just memories, dreams, and reflections. So here we are. It's July of 2009, and the worst is yet to come. I'll be right back.
The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. I'm Glenn Beck, weekdays, noon to 3 on Talk 910 KNEW.
Ever and it's sing and dance forever and a day.
I want you to see something from my perspective. I mean, I'm an older guy in radio, but I want to ask you something. I've always known politicians are in it for themselves. Now, that's a given. The word politician means that, okay. But there was a line that was never crossed in a previous time in America. I don't know where it changed or when it changed or who it changed with. But there was a point that you would say no congressman or senator in your wildest imagination would be working against the national security interests of the United States of America. You could go to bed with that and wake up with that. The FBI would have grabbed them. They would have been tried and indicted, and they would have been put away for a long period of time. But you wake up today and you find out that half of the Senate has a spouse working for a foreign government. Half of Congress has a spouse or a relative working for a foreign contractor or a foreign government, and nothing happens to them. Instead, they say to us, jerk, you're going to pay more taxes because you're lucky. We're going to show you how lucky you are. We're only going to charge you 10% more, not 50% more. We're not going to take away 100% of your money. We're only going to take away 57% of your money. Or 60% of your money if you're really lucky. And if you're super lucky, we'll take away 63% of your money. Now, it's true that 50%, the lowest 50% of earners in America pay no federal income tax at all. Why is that? Why shouldn't there be one tax for all people? Why should people who earn more pay more? How does that work? I mean, they're all lucky, according to Obama? That's communism. Only a communist would say that people who make more money are luckier. I want you to think about what's going on in this country. Now, don't bring up the foreign trip with the gold chain from the Saudi king. Don't bring up barefoot in the mosque in Istanbul, please. Don't bring any of those things up. Don't bring up the apology tour. Don't bring up America Last. Don't bring up a man who you know and I know is not capable of being a commander-in-chief. You know that. Are you going to sit there and tell me you think that Obama really could be a great commander-in-chief? How? How could that be? He was the most liberal senator in the history of the U.S. Senate. The man has probably never fired a Daisy BB gun. How could he command troops? How could he command the respect of troops? You say, well, that's true for most presidents. Is it? Is it true for most presidents? If it is, it's a sad statement. I would elect any combat veteran to the Congress right now. I know there are a few running. I'd elect any of them. I don't care if they're a Democrat or a Republican. Any combat veteran, I'd elect to Congress right now. They know a little bit more about what we are facing than the others do. I would also go back to what I suggested earlier. If it was good enough for Alexander the Great, it should be good enough for Obama the Great. Any combat veteran who died in the service of the United States of America, their wives and their children should be exempt from all taxes for the rest of their lives. Why? Because they gave their lives for the country. That wouldn't cost the country too much, but it would be a great, tremendous contribution to the morale of the United States military, wouldn't it? Who came up with that? Me. Am I a congressman? No. Am I a senator? No. Am I running for office? No. Why did I come up with it? Because not only does it make sense, it's the right thing to do. But since when does sensical things and the right thing to do have play in Washington, D.C.? I don't know. I don't know when it's ever going to be, again, a country where common sense prevails. I don't know. But all I can do is get up every day, hope I have the strength to go on the radio and do a good job and not make too big an idiot of myself. and try to make as much sense as I can and try to entertain you along the way. That's all I can do every day. Nothing else. Laura in Chicago, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Dr. Savage, hi. It's an honor to talk to you.
Yes.
Hello? Hey,
yes.
A few years ago, I was sitting in my car listening to you. It was November and raining, and you asked the question if there's anybody out there who never had children because they couldn't afford it. And that was me, and I was 38 at the time. I just moved back to New York. I just started dating a nice guy. And then last year, I went, and I wanted to call you and say, that's me. I put up having children because I can't afford it and bring them.
Right, so now you had children now, and what's the question or comment?
I was 40 years old and I'm pregnant, and I listen to you every day, and you say the best advice I can give you for your children is just to love them, and that's what I do.
That is the number one thing. That's right, but you also have to add things to the love them. Love is the most important thing, but also setting boundaries and being a parent, not a friend. The biggest mistake parents make is to think that they have to be their child's best friend. I don't say be their enemy. But your job as a parent is not to be their friend, it's to be a parent. It's a very important differential. A lot of women say, oh, I'm my daughter's best friend. We wear the same clothing. Well, that's a very sad statement. Anyway, I'm going to send you a free copy of Healing Children Naturally because it has the recipes, it has the all of that stuff in it that you're going to need from conception through adolescence. You see mothers in the mall sometimes with a 14-year-old daughter wearing the same clothing. You know, it's almost sickening. What do you mean they walk around like girlfriends? A mother's not supposed to be a girl's girlfriend. It's supposed to be a mother, a role model. When did the parental role get so boiled down that you're supposed to be a friend of the child? Okay, that's my opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you'll do a better job than I did. That's all. 1-800-449. Try it. See if you can do a better job than I did. There's always room for improvement. To do a worse job, too, you have to thank God for what you have. There's always a chance. Personally, I believe, since we're talking in general now, and I'm just rambling on about children, I meant to say this for months now. I believe, I have a very illiberal view of children who are bad. I believe that some children are just born evil. I do not believe that all evil is caused by the environment. And I can give you example after example. The famous example is that of the poor family in New York had two sons. One became a cop, one became a criminal. How did it happen? Same parents, same environment, same time. How did one become a cop, or one became a priest and one became a criminal? How'd that happen? Well, some are born evil. Some are born bad. You see, the liberal believes that we're all born good and that only the environment can make us good or evil, and that by altering the environment, we can take the most evil person and make them good. That is why they will spend 30 years hovering about death rows trying to reform someone who, let's say, slaughtered 30 people. They don't want to accept the fact that there are some people who are just no damn good. They were born bad. They're born evil. There is evil in the world. And the day you come to understand that some people can never be fixed is the day you'll come to understand something about reality. And it's the same with nations, my friends. There are some nations that are no damn good. There are some leaders that are evil. And no amount of sweet-talking them is going to make them good. Obama just went on a world tour, and he talked to the evil of the world as though they were just bad children. And if only the great man Obama somehow touched their hand, they would suddenly become good. Because they're just like bad kids who needed a good father, and Obama wants to be father to the world. So he shakes the hand with the despots of the world, and he thinks, presto, they're going to stop being bad. Suddenly Chavez is going to stop being an America hater. Chavez is going to stop throwing Jews out of his nation. Suddenly Ahmadinejad is not going to develop the nuclear weapon and wipe Israel off the map. Why? Because Obama smiled at him. Obama shook his hand. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There are some people who are just evil. Stalin was evil. Hitler was evil. Pol Pot was evil. Mao Zedong was evil. Shall I go down the list? No amount of talking to them would have made them anything but evil men. And so what did we do? What did we do at the time? Did we go have a conversation with Hitler? Well, Neville Chamberlain tried a conversation with Hitler, and it got him nothing. It was only the sacrifice of the British people and the Americans and the Russians, primarily, that saved the world from 1,000 years of darkness. And my friends, I pray to God you come to see the errors of your liberal ways before it is too late, before you awaken in chains. Some people and some nations and some leaders are just evil.
Savage.
Michael Savage.
Afternoons 3 to 7.
On Talk 910 KNEW.
And online at 910knew.com.
Jackie Smith, remember her? The woman who put me on a list with murderers and terrorists and banned me from the United Kingdom? Well, there's a blockbuster story today. She admitted that she was not up to the job. You're not going to believe this. This is what you and I have known for years. Classic liberal, school teacher, promoted beyond her abilities. And here's what she said. This is to a major British newspaper. She's quoted as saying, when I became Home Secretary, I'd never run a major organization. I think we should have been better trained. I think there should have been more induction, quote unquote. Well, the only induction she'll be getting now is into the political hall of shame. But they still haven't taken me off the list. Listen to this. In this interview, she was asked if she had worried she was not up to the job. Now, this is a huge job. What is the equivalent of our Department of Homeland Security? She said,